Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the daily live extra, the live daily extra, whichever way you want to cut it. This is what it is. It's Tuesday, the 10th of August. It is very warm outside, which I'm very warm in the studio, which is, it's nice, but sure I'll be roasting in a minute with these lights on. So yeah, stadium work has begun. Everton have finally had the ceremonial opening of Bramley Moore. Bill Kenwright, Denise Barrett-Backs and Graham Sharp. All down there to break ground, so to speak. Yeah, so the dream is becoming a reality, I guess, now. I think a lot of people will start to calm over the stadium stuff. It has begun, and it's an exciting time. It's probably more exciting to a lot of people than what is going on the pitch, which shouldn't ever be the way, really, should it? But it is a monumental thing for Everton Football Club to move stadium after such a long period of time at Goodison Park. So it's going to be very interesting watching this thing come out the ground. Obviously a long way to go before we see the structure emerge out the ground. There's the filling in of the dock, there's the draining of the dock first, and then the filling in of the dock, and there's the cement over it, and then the rising of the first structure and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting, exciting journey as we begin the move from Goodison Park to Bramley Moore Dock in 3 years' time. But Everton have done this today and announced the ceremonial opening of it. So there you go. Very exciting times, and hopefully the team can catch up that excitement by starting to progress, which we certainly haven't done over the last 5 years or so. Let's get into the comments. Hennessy95 says Zakaria would be an unreal signing. He's apparently available for 20 million. You'd pick him over Nunes. Yeah, Dennis Zakaria, Mönchengladbach, in the final year of his contract. Good player, rangy, box-to-box type of player. 20 million, not bad. Daniela says, can Farhad and Usmanov buy a French team? It's a bit for Iwobi or Gomez. Don't know. DLB Rogue Trader says, why are we getting no videos and training? I don't know. Maybe the manager doesn't want them coming out now. I'm not sure. James says, afternoon blues, hope you're well. Eugene says, Premier League announced random COVID-19 checks for supporters. Interesting. Toffee Boy says, football aside, I'm glad that young lad turned up safe and sound. Absolutely found last night, so it's good. That's great news. Kevin Kraft says PSG are open to selling as many as 10 players, including Ghana guy, in order to sign Lionel Messi. It also says Lionel Messi's agreed a 2-year deal to join Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, a lot of clubs trying to move players out. Kenny says the team needs urgent work, not the stadium. Kev says afternoon. Baz, afternoon, Kev. Trevor says, why can't Everton take the fine, pay off the loose change and sign who we want? Because who said it's a fine, Trevor? It's not for FFP with UEFA, the Premier League. So who said it's just a fine? Could be points deduction. Tom says, hi Baz, by the way, congratulations on the 52,888 subs. Thank you very much, mate. In fact, it's more than that now. It's 52,900 odd. So thank you, each and every one of you who have subscribed. Even the people who come on just to give a thumbs down. Thank you as well. We get a view for that. So you're helping us even by coming on just to give it a thumbs down and make your day personally. So thank you very much. Pipe says, do you think the lack of training videos had anything to do with the situation? No, I just think the lack of training videos are probably because the manager doesn't want. They're doing more specific training now, and the manager doesn't want that filmed. Maybe I honestly don't know. But Edward says got tickets for the game Saturday. First time getting to see the Blues at Goodison. Excellent. Enjoy it. Drink it all in. 3 years to go and counting now till we move. So enjoy every minute there. Paul Doppin says, can Toffee TV and Cam do discussions? Well, Cam's in every week with us, so we see him every week. Mozza says, all right, Baz, hello everyone. Bought me ticket for Saturday. Bit nervous, but buzzing too. Enjoy it, Mozza. Kevin says, will you be able to get videos of the stadium as it progresses, Baz? Yes, mate. We will be doing videos all the way along. As you know, down at Bramley Moor, and how as the work progresses and as it comes out the ground, we'll be speaking to people as well. So we'll be on that journey as well as the club, definitely. Captain Boogaloo says, would Carlo have had the same problem transfers wise if he'd have stayed, even though he supposedly had our targets in place before his shock departure? Well, he would have, yeah. He would have had the same issues because the issues were there. I don't think it's nothing to do with Rafael Benitez, is it? So he might have had targets in place, but I really do think Everton banked on Moise Kean being sold. I think they believed that there was a bid from PSG arriving at the end of the season, and it's not happened. And that's why. Mr. Jones says, I can see Moyes and Dom being sold this season. Okay. Dom isn't getting sold. Nathan says, is there an ability to buy part of Goodison when we move? I don't know. Is the real answer to that, Nathan. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity to get something. I really do. I think the club will make sure that you can buy a piece of Goodison, because I think it'd be quite a good money earner for them, really. And I think everyone would like a little piece of it. I'd like to buy me seat at Goodison, but I don't know whether we'll be able to. John Burns says, but what about the small ships and Jeff? Steve Kelly says, all right, Baz, looking forward to when you see the structure of the stadium going up. That'll be when the excitement starts for myself. I see the usual doom and gloomers are out on Twitter going on about funding. Bore off and let the club have this moment. Mate, Twitter is what it is now. It's absolutely grim, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know what. I can't really say anymore. Each to their own. If people see that, if people want to be that negative about everything, then that's up to them. I'm not going to tell them to be any different. I've said yesterday I couldn't personally live my life like that. Because what would be the point? What would be the point of supporting Everton if it made you that miserable? So I think I'd look for something else to do. Astro says, afternoon, Baz, what are you more excited about today? Bramley Moor breaking ground or the start of the season? Congrats on the subs, keep up the boss work. Also, Benjamin Franklin once said, the best way to keep a secret between two people is who want to kill the other. Yeah, I'm not having the moon thing, Astro. I love you, you know I do, but the moon thing was a black, mate. What am I more excited about? The ground or the season? The ground, I think. The ground. Because that represents progress. The pitch, stuff on the pitch at the moment, it's difficult to see where the progress is. But the ground definitely represents progress. So I'm more excited about the ground today. But I am looking forward to the season starting. I'm looking forward to being back in Goodison on Saturday. My little fella's absolutely bouncing. He can't wait to get back. And I think Everton will be sound Saturday. I think we'll get off to a good result. Callum Smith said, what's his prediction? I think we'll win the game. I think it'll be 3-1 to Everton. That's what I'm going for. Toffee Boy says the problem is there isn't much money floating about at the moment. Correct. Enough there. Suvera says buzzing on the Bramley Moor dock. Yeah. Should be buzzing as well, to be fair. Truthy Orifice says, will the stadium have beers that fill themselves like Spurs? Probably, because that's like state-of-the-art stuff now. In fact, a lot of pubs have them now. So I imagine that the Bramley Moor dock will have the same thing as well. Tazul says, hello. Hello, Tazul. Nathan says, I'm really open. I can get to Goodison once before we move. Love to meet you and the guys for a chat all the way from Perth. Do it, Nath. Do it. And come in and do a video with us as well. But you've definitely, if you can, got to experience, 100% got to experience Goodison Park before it goes. Once it's gone forever, mate. So you've got 3 years. So plan your trip, get over here and go the game at Goodison and just experience that atmosphere. Drink it all in. Sue says there's a lad doing drone or passes of Bramley Moor dock. Yeah, I've seen it. Really good. Really good. Daniela says her Patreon isn't working. She's emailed us. Chase that up for us, please, Ned. Daniela, just email us again, like right now, please, and just put for the attention of Ned on it, and then we'll know which one it is, and he can chase it up and see what's going on. Thank you. Eugene says, did you hear Camp from the Mighty Blues today? Because he was on BBC Radio 1 chatting about the new Premier League. No, I didn't. Fair play to him. I've not heard that. But we'll speak to him. Is he in this week, Ned? Oh, right, okay. So he's not in this week, but he'll probably be in next week. Pipe says, will we have videos like the match preview starting 11? Yes. All begins again this week. Truvera says, imagine selling Ghana to get Messi. Right. Back on. Steve Evans says, great news. Build it and they will come. They will do. They definitely will do. Josh B says, does Messi to PSG end the hope of getting some money to sell Keane to PSG? Without any other, just from a personal perspective, I don't see how they would come for Moise Keane now. I really don't. Not saying it won't, it can't happen, of course. Anything can happen, but it cuts down the options, doesn't it? If Messi goes there, they're going to have Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, Icardi. There's no room for Moise Keane in there. Sol says at least the ground is progressing. David Fernu says, hi Baz, got to say I feel really sorry for Rafa. Going to take all the flack for lack of funds and transfer activity. Unfortunately, fans will turn on him very quickly. Well, that's up to people, isn't it? If they feel like they want to blame Rafael Benitez for everything else and for the mistakes that others have made for the last 5 years, that's up to them. I don't know whether it'll turn very quickly because I think Everton will do all right. So, if people hate Rafa Benitez more than they love Everton, then that's up to them. I can't tell people what to do, can I? I'm just like I've said before, I just go about it my own way. Would Rafa Benitez have been my first choice? No, he wouldn't. Would he have been in my top 5? No, he wouldn't have been. But he's Everton manager now, so do I get behind him? Absolutely. And do I actually think he's a better manager for this squad that Everton have rather than Carlo Ancelotti? Absolutely. Ancelotti, I've said it every day, and I'll say it again. Ancelotti with world-class players 100 times out of 100 over Benitez. But Ancelotti with this squad or Rafa Benitez with this squad, I'd probably favour Benitez with this squad, to be honest. But everyone will see it their own way, and that's fine. Neil Jones says, be positive, 3-0 win on Saturday, no probs. Truvera said Saints didn't take the away allocation for the first game back. Well, he took the bottom half, haven't he? So they'll have 1,800 there. But yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. You would have thought they'd have took that for the 3 o'clock first game back for 18 months. But who knows? Maybe they're not enthused by the season. His soul says, what, just win the league this season? Madder things have happened. Tazul says, it's the first time in years I've felt so underwhelmed going into a new season. Can't get excited about it. You know what? Good. Because for a lot of people, it might actually temper expectations. And then therefore, the pressure mightn't be on everybody. And everyone mightn't feel as, angry as they normally do. Because if everyone's expecting Everton to finish in the bottom half of the league, and we do, then you've got what you expected. So there's no reason to moan, really, is there? If Everton start losing games, people can't moan because they've told everybody that Everton are going to be near the bottom anyway. So they're getting what they want, so you shouldn't be moaning if you're getting what you want. I don't see it like that. I think Everton will be in the fight for the European place. Whether Everton end up 10th, 12th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th remains to be seen, doesn't it? There's still 3 weeks to go the window as well. I haven't given up hope that a couple will come in and we'll get a couple out. So let's see what happens. Ned, thoughts on Lukaku? Why didn't you just reach over the screen and ask me? Is it done?
In picture with it.
Okay, fair play. It's a fantastic signing for Chelsea. Absolutely fantastic signing. We know how good he is in the Premier League. I think he will pull. For me, right now, I think Chelsea and City are neck on neck for the title this season. I think them two are ahead of United, and I think Liverpool will be fourth. I think if City get Harry Kane, then it'll swing back to Man City. But Lukaku's a fantastic signing for Chelsea. Martin says, "Do you think we'll bring anyone in?" I think we need to get people out the door, mate. I honestly, at this moment, and knowing what I know and what's going, being said around football, is that there's no money for Everton to bring anyone in at the moment. Whether the owner takes matters into his own hands in the last couple of days, I don't know. I wouldn't say never. I'd never say never with Moshiri, because he tends to do things that he's advised not to half the time. So I could never 100% sit here and go, no one's coming in. But what I would say is Everton's situation at the moment doesn't allow people to come in without getting people out the door, and they're working on getting people out the door. So Craig says, while not overly concerned about the United score, Pickford did worry me. Felt like a flashback to Christmas Pickford. Well, I think all we can do is that we can just, all we'll have to do at the moment, mate, is just pass it off as his first minutes since the Euros. And he dropped the ball, didn't he? Time will tell in the next few weeks whether he's on it or not. But Benitez is the kind of manager who will drop him for Begovic, no problem. So he's going to have to quickly get up to speed. Peter Walton says, greetings, mate. Exciting news about Bramley Moore, definitely. James can't wait to be back at Goodison after over a year and not going. Needs to win, though, and get the manager off to a good start. Yeah. Yu Yinga 10 says, hi Baz, I saw a report, don't know how much weight's behind it, but that we could be due for some money from Sky, BT and Amazon on the Premier League viewing night. Yeah, definitely. I saw the same thing yesterday. I saw Kieran Maguire, who's a financial expert, talking about it, that we're due a £90 million windfall. I don't know how accurate that is. But with fans being back in, the money will go back up, which is good. But I don't know when that arrives, so it's gambling on that then, isn't it? If that is true, then it's excellent news, because we could do it every bit. But right now, I'm a bit like you. I saw the report yesterday, but I don't know how much validity is in it or when it'll arrive. Hennessy, I'm in the Hennessy 95. I'm in the Upper Bullens, mate. Sol says the first goal was Pickford's mistake rather than Dean's. Yeah, it wasn't a great header by Luca Dean, but Jordan Pickford dropped it, definitely. David Snook says, linked to Zakaria from Bill, just tuned in, sorry if you touched on it. Yeah, Dennis Zakaria I've wanted for a while. I'm definitely not getting attached to him, because Villa end up with him or someone else. But he's definitely a good player. Definitely a good player, and he'd make our midfield better without a shadow of a doubt. Steve says, I wish they'd do a little viewing gallery for any fans wanting to watch progress. Maybe they will as it goes. It's too early at the moment. You're not going to see anything other than a flat building site with loads of materials on it at the minute. Tazul says, Moise Keane linked with Inter and AC this morning. Yeah. Kevin says, those drone videos are shot by a Toffee. Yeah. Martin Roberts, quite possibly. John Jones says, our last 32 games we scored 0.9 goals per game, conceded 1.25. Why are we talking about Koulibaly and Longstaff? Get Rondon and play a more aggressive 4-3-3. Nathan says, I want to see Gabam, Gray and Godfrey really turn up this season and help us build a squad that support Dom, Richie, James and Alan. Toffee Boy says, I think it'll take the next 3 windows to get rid of, including this one, to get rid of the Deadwood and turn it round. Okay. Eugene says, Everton v Man City in the Women's Super League is to be shown live on the BBC. Excellent. That's good. Adam says, is this the beginning of the ending of FFP once and for all? Which Adam? Has there been something else that's being said, or any news? So I have not seen anything regarding FFP today at the moment. Matt Gibson says, regarding Peyton not working, if she pays by card and has had a new one since last time, then it'll be that it hasn't taken payments as it'll have the old card deal. That's for Daniela, if that's the issue. Adam Lilford said, really enjoyed the watch-alongs, given that I imagine they went down very well. Do you plan on doing any throughout the season? No. Not when it actually means something. They're nowhere near as enjoyable. Because just gets you wound up in the game. You've got to get involved in the game. Everton Fan TV says, apparently Everton want to sell Gomez to afford Matheus Nunes. Yeah, I saw that today. Tom Gibbons says, Baz, which winger do you want and which winger do you think we'll get? I'm the same for a right back. I don't know who we'll get at right back. I'd like Dumfries or Dalot at right back. I don't know if we'll get either of them. Winger, Mathew would be a decent one, if that's how you say his name. At PSV, he's only 19, left-footed but plays off the right, dead quick. He'd be a good one. Anthony would be a cracking winger if we could get him. I'd love Diaby, but I don't think Leverkusen are going to sell 3 wingers in one window. So they'd be ones I'd want. Definitely. Peter Walton says, need to back the manager and get behind Rafa. Great tactician and he'll get the best out of the players. Trivera says, Tosin, Kenny, Iwobi out. Thomas Peckham says, James rumours gone quiet again. He will. I think it's going to be all towards the end of the window when it happens, to be perfectly honest. I think that's just the way it'll go. I think there'll be a lot of loan options towards the end of the window. So, Mozza says, problem we have is that every team is trying to offload the players because of the poor financial crisis clubs are finding themselves in. Shouldn't have wasted 500 million. I don't think they thought they were wasting it, did they? But yeah, without a clear plan, it's a different thing, isn't it? Kevin says, bump the likes up, lads. Nice one, Kev. Buck says, Tottenham is Iron Dom. What do you think about this? I've said before, I'd be amazed if he took such a sideward step. I really would. It'd amaze me. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to be looking at a top 4 club if he's going to leave Everton. And Spurs aren't that. And I like Tottenham, good club, but not won anything. Are about to lose the main reason why they've been near the top and in Champions League. So for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that to me, it would be a huge sideward step. Because I think if you're going to leave Everton, you want to be going to be guaranteed Champions League football and things like that. That's just me. Other people might see it as a big step up. I don't know. I don't. I think if it was Chelsea or something, I'd be going, yeah, fair enough. Man United, fair enough. But Spurs, to me, isn't a step up. Dane O'Neill says, hey, who would you take out of midfield if the Corey and Allen, if we got Zakaria, as Rafa likes to play 4-2-3-1? Probably Allen and play Zakaria with the Corey. I'd personally probably have 3 in midfield rather than the 2. I think Allen's a good player. I think Allen can offer something, but if you're just having 2 midfielders and you want them to be mobile, is Allen mobile enough? I don't know, but if you've got a 6 who sits in, then he can go and rat around the pitch and put pressure on, then fine, he's not leaving a big gap. Christopher Connor says, hi Baz, enjoying the show. Realistically, who do you think will move on if you had to prioritise between a centre midfield player or a winger? I would... the 3 you've put, I would be quite happy for all 3 of them to go. I personally would get a winger rather than a centre midfielder, but I do feel like we do need a centre midfielder, by the way. But I'd prefer a winger who had some goals in him, because like me and Ped were chatting yesterday, there's not many goals in this squad after Dom and Richie. Moise Keane is an unknown at the moment because he didn't do it the first year. He got quite a few last season, but we don't know if he'll be here, and if he is, we don't know what his contribution will be. James got half a dozen last year. If he stays, then yeah, he'll get the same again. But if he goes, are we replacing it? So you're looking for someone to come in who can add to the goal tally. Definitely. We'll see. Terry McAllister, afternoon, Baz, the patrons still get discounts on the merch. Yes, they do, don't they, Pedro? Yeah. Yes, Tez. Just send us a message. on Patreon. Hennessy says spending low now really does help for next year's transfer season. John says he paid Peyton on the 26th and it's tried to say it does it on the 1st, John. So if you're joining Peyton, you want to be joining in the early part of the month. That's not us. That's just the way the thing's set up. So if you're going to join Peyton again, you're best waiting until September the 1st, really, if you don't want to pay again so soon. Abigail says Gabam and Keane self-isolating. Peter says not enough strength and depth. What is your opinion? I think we're better balanced than last season, but we are still short on a bit of quality. I think if we can be a bit more fortunate than we were last season with injuries, then it might be okay. But we are short. We know we're short in striking areas, and I think we're short in wide areas, and we need a right back. But if you're lucky with injuries and stuff, then of course Everton can still do well. He's still got a good 11, got a good 14 or 15 really. If they all perform, it's once you lose 2 or 3 players that you're really thin then. But it's the goals is the worry, isn't it? That's the real worry. Raj says, hi Baz, Raj from Malaysia. We've all been so patient with Everton and we deserve some success. Jealous to see the Leicester fans celebrating. Well, they've had time in the Championship and everything, haven't they? Which we haven't. They've done their planning properly and they're getting the rewards. We haven't. We've done a scattergun approach, hoping we could do it quickly, hoping we could jump over some teams quickly, and we've not been able to do it. And we are where we are now. So is this zero? You like to think so. This was the reset, but who knows? You know, time will tell, but this was always going to come. There was always going to be a point where we couldn't carry on doing what we were doing because the rules don't allow it to. Steve Kelly says, I think we'll get a few loans coming in and says, United want 4 to 5 million loan for Dalot. If we could get it down to 2, we could get him. Yeah, 2.5, that'll do. Adam says, when does the financial year end in football? If it's January. No, Everton's is June the 30th it ends. So, like the season, he changed it, didn't he? Keith says, hey Baz, maybe a coincidence, but the new appointment on the board of our financial director may have highlighted the desperate situation of our accounts and our need to stabilise. Many heads have turned and ignored over the years, like Barca and Real, but on a smaller scale, obviously. In long term, it'll be an advantage for our club. Big Valdi is in the comments, says, here my first team players that Rafa's going to play 4-3-3, Kabam and Allen and Duke. Interesting. He flips between 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3 though. He's also played 3-5-2. I don't know whether he has a full specified lineup, to be honest. Keith says, thoughts Edcast by the Vancouver Music Academy Orchestra was fantastic, and to see Patron Joe conducting it in an Everton shirt was priceless. And also, Astro says, if you could pull one player you've seen playing your lifetime who's now retired and put them in the lineup on Saturday, who would it be? Neville Southall. Easy. Neville Southall. Not even going to think about it. That's who it would be. Cheers, John. Apologies about that, mate. That's just the way it works. We've got no control over that. Mr. Jones says, we need a commanding centre-back, a proper leader. I'd get Camavinga on loan with an obligation to buy for 50 million. There you go. Daniela says she's been told to reach out to us on another platform. Just email toffeetv1@gmail. Daniela and put for the attention of Ned. Okay, Ned's just emailed you, so we'll try and sort it that way. Right, that is us done. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you to everyone who has. Give the video a like before you go. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. If you are a patron, we'll see you at 5 o'clock for the live show. Take it easy. Bye.